There's an old saying around the water cooler over at Engineer Main Headquarters: sentries get kills, dispensers save lives, and teleporters win games. As engineer, building and maintaining a teleporter is easy. As long as you're proactive about moving it up when you get forward spawns, you don't face it towards a wall, and as long as you point it in the direction that your team is supposed to be walking, your teleporter game is actually going to be pretty on point.
Side note, on point is an expression. You can't actually build your teleporter on a control point.
But when it comes to using a teleporter, you have to understand what can be considered the unspoken rules of teleporter etiquette. Simply put, this video will be a guide on how to be polite, be efficient, and not be a fucking douchebag who steals teleporters from your team. So the first thing to go over is teleporter priority. Now, most of you guys have probably seen this image. It's a pretty popular spray that people like to place down next to teleporter entrances as a friendly reminder of who should be the first in line to stand on the entrance when there are multiple classes waiting to use it. However, while this guide is pretty close to accurate, I actually think that there are some things that could be changed about it depending on the level of the teleporter. Now, if you didn't already know, there are 3 levels that a teleporter can be, just like every other building, and increasing the level also increases its health. But the other stat that gets upgraded from level to level is the recharge time. A level 1 teleporter recharges in 10 seconds, a level 2 teleporter recharges in 5 seconds, and a level 3 teleporter recharges in 3 seconds. So how does this come into play with teleporter priority? Well, I'd say that this basic guide certainly applies to a level 1 teleporter because 10 seconds is a pretty long time to be waiting, and a scout can just easily run to the front lines in that amount of time. But if the teleporter is level 2 or 3, I'd say the following extra conditions come into play. If you're a scout and there's no one else waiting to use the teleporter, or if anyone is spawning in the next 5 seconds, which you can easily check at the very top of your HUD, feel free to take the teleporter. Sure, a scout can run to the front lines pretty quickly, but taking a teleporter is always going to be faster. It's only unacceptable to use a teleporter as scout when there's other people who are needing to use it. So what if you're a scout and there's a level 1 teleporter that no one is using? Well, the obvious answer is don't use it, because unless no one on your team is currently dead, someone is probably going to be spawning in the next 10 seconds. But if you see a level 1 teleporter just sitting there outside of spawn, no matter what class you're playing as, the true answer is temporarily just switch to engineer and upgrade it. This simple thing literally takes no more than 15 seconds to do, and not only will you be more likely to use it the next time you spawn because it's now level 3, your team and your engineer will thank you for it. And don't forget to say thanks in chat. NG's politeness and teamwork go a long way. Always reciprocate helpful gestures when you see them. The second thing to talk about regarding teleporters is how to actually use them. I mean, it sounds silly enough to say, because I thought maybe the concept of standing on a glowing circle would be pretty straightforward, but of course, there are a lot of people out there who just don't understand how complicated that can be sometimes. Notice that there are multiple people standing on this level 3 teleporter, and yet none of them are actually going through it. Well, that's because the teleporter is pretty finicky and often refuses to let you use it while you're moving. These gentlemen in particular are not only being assholes because they're obviously trying to shove each other off the teleporter, but as a result, they're just wasting everybody's time. The teleporter will often not do anything if there are multiple people standing on it at the same time because of how player collision works by default. So, you know, instead of everyone clamoring over the teleporter for 10 seconds, causing the thing to simply refuse to take anyone through it to the exit, how about we all just do the civilized thing here and fucking get in line, you butthole! Queuing for the teleporter is not only what people who aren't Neanderthals do because it's polite, it's way more efficient, it's way more reliable, it's way faster. Every time I see people do this, it's upsetting because every one of these people could have already gone through this teleporter if they just got in a single file line in front of the entrance and stepped on the glowing circle one at a time. Don't do this. It's stupid. And the last thing to talk about, as engineer, please don't put a teleporter near a dispenser if you can avoid it. If a spy uses the teleporter and someone is standing on the exit, that person will get telefragged, which basically means they'll die in one of the top 5 most embarrassing ways in TF2, and they'll totally have full right to blame you since they were only trying to use a dispenser. So just spread that stuff out.
Disclaimer, standing on a teleporter exit in general is pretty risky, but as far as taking risks go, standing on a teleporter exit with your back against the wall is statistically less risky than standing next to a teleporter exit with your back exposed. It's a lot more likely that a spy will try and backstab you while you upgrade your teleporter exit than it is that a spy will randomly decide to use your teleporter entrance. Might as well protect your back at all times instead of being paranoid that a spy will come through your teleporter in the short amount of time that you happen to be standing on it. However, if a spy is sapping the entrance, don't stand on the exit as you unsap it, because you could get telefragged pretty easily doing that. Stand next to it while you remove the sapper and be prepared to shoot whoever comes through it next in the face. This has been a video about teleporter etiquette. Next up, we have Dapper Dog's classic #1 hit, Frontier Justice. Take it away, Dapper Dog.